Okay, let's start with Steve Biglin. Number one, prep before painting, pressure clean, caulk crack, spot prime, bare spots, sand, loose paint. Okay, apply one coat of Sherwin-Williams super paint, satin finish to all brown wood on each building. All right, this is important. It's important to find out how he applies that paint. It needs to be done with a roller and a brush. If he sprays it, that's a waste of time. That paint, if he sprays it, that paint will just sit on the surface of the wood. It needs to be worked in. That's probably what happened previously, and that's why we have problems with those boards. So it's important to find out how he does that. Apply one coat of Sherwin-Williams Super Satin to all stucco surfaces of each building. Okay. Paint railings, gates, handrails, black. Paint front doors and trim blue, labor materials. Okay. Spraying the stucco is fine, but the brown wood trim, you can't do it. All right, Bill-A-Do construction. Pressure clean exterior of the building to remove mold and dirt, fill in any hairline cracks with elastomeric patch, and caulk any areas as needed, windows, doors, etc. Sand trim is needed, and prime any bare spots around building. Then apply one coat of Sherwin-Williams satin finish paint. Apply Loxon conditioner sealer to any areas that the paint was chalking prior to applying 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams super paint. Now he's gotten in parentheses, each building will be completed section at a time as we apply coating. It will be second coated before moving into another section. So what I think he's talking about here is he'll spray the stucco, let it dry for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then go back and spray it again. It's a good idea because then you can be assured of good coverage. It's not exactly a second coat, but it's the way to do it. Once completed, finish building by painting railings, gates with a rail paint color that I had Sherwin-Williams create. And sure, okay. The problem here is, once again, we don't know how he's going to deal with the brown trim boards. It needs to be done with a roller and a brush. If you spray it, that's a waste of time. But I like how he's going to deal with the stucco. And now we have Elite Painting and Soft Wash. Pressure wash all buildings, wedge base of the buildings to paint the foundation. I don't know what he's talking about here. There is no foundation. These are concrete walls that sit on a footer, so I don't get what they're talking about here. Fill foundation and windowsill cracks as needed. Elastometric, I think Merrick, I don't know which it is. Caulk around the windows. Tape and mask all windows and light fixtures and all objects that don't require paint. Cover all hurricane shutters, then open and hand paint the inside. That's a good idea. Cover the tile on the walls with blue tape, fill in holes as needed, fill all cracks as needed, sand all wood on bare spots where needed, prime all bare wood after sanding, sand the railing. Okay. Again, let's see what he's got here. Paint entire main stucco of building with Sherwin-Williams super paint, walls, soffit, gutters, trim, decorative trim, fascia board with brown paint, entryway, paint doors of the apartment, paint the doors of the storage areas, paint the railings, okay, paint the retaining walls around the building. I don't know what he means by retaining walls. Anyway, once again, we don't know how he's going to paint those brown trim boards. Again, it needs to be done with a roller and a brush. You spray it, the paint will just sit on the cedar wood, and it's a waste of time. He's got something else here. Carport can be added for $1,000 per carport. We should be very careful here. I remember a few years back, they Had trouble with the tops of the carports. I think they got some special paint and painted it at the tops. When I went around to do the building assessments last year, I was amazed at how good the tops of the carports looked from the second story. So whatever paint they used, it looks like it worked very well. The problem is if you put something on there and it peels, or you end up with a bunch of algae on there, you're going to hear a lot of complaints from these second story people. Concrete staining of stairs on concrete staining of the stairs, one building. If we get the bid, I will do this free. There's nothing free. And he's got, I can also include pergola for free at the clubhouse. I think he's talking about flooring here. We're talking about painting. I don't get that. Okay.